and to go to the other side before unto Bethesda, while he sent the people away. And when he had sent them away, he departed into a mountain to pray. And when even was come, the ship was in the midst of the sea, and he alone on the land. And he saw them toiling in rowing, for the wind was contrary to them. And about the fourth watch of the night he cometh to them walking on the sea, and would have passed by them. But when they saw him walking upon the sea, they supposed it had been a spirit, and cried out. For they all saw him, and were troubled. And immediately he talked with them, and said unto them, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. And he went up into the ship. The wind ceased, and they were sore amazed in themselves, beyond measure, and wondered, for they considered not the miracle of the loaves, for their heart was hardened. And when they had passed over, they came to the land of Gennesaret, and drew to the shore. This second trial, I'm going to call this trial is for the hardness of your heart. For the hardness of your heart. Now, I want you to notice here in the first part, and straightway he constrained his disciples. Now, that word constrained means to make someone do something they don't want to do. He kind of forced them to get in the boat. They didn't want to get in the boat. They didn't want to be there. But Jesus said, no, I want you guys in the boat. I want you guys to go to the other side. He said he constrained them. And he was sending them into the sea against the wind. Right into a head-on wind. And you think to yourself, why? And I think they might have been, they didn't really want to go there. They were going into the wind. They're going against their will. Jesus went up into a mountain to pray. And in verse 48, it says, and he saw them toiling in rowing. Now I want you to know that Jesus, God, sees you in your struggle, in your trial. He is watching you. Jesus Christ was there on the mountain. He had been praying. No doubt he was praying for them. I know that he was praying for them. Jesus Christ prayed for Peter because he knew Satan wanted to sift him like wheat. Jesus Christ cares and is watching you in your trouble, in your struggle. He knows. He's watching. He cares. He saw that the wind was contrary to them. And they weren't making great speed. They were struggling. What time was this? The fourth watch of the night. Wow. It was late. And secondly, they were rowing. Now, how many of you have ever rowed a boat? Okay. Well, that's good. Would you say it's easy? It might be. You know what? A few years ago, I'm going to tell this story here with Charity. There's a little town, a little island in the Keys called Layton, the city of Layton. And it's just 250 houses make this little city up. It's just tiny. And they are a close little city, and they have this event once a year that only the people of that city are able to. They have this big city event, and one of the events during this special day is the canoe contest. And they give some type of award out if you're the first canoeer to get across. Well, the first year I didn't do it, but then I think it was 2-3 years ago, Charity? Charity, I think, was 9. And, I thought, well, they invited us to come, and I thought, well, it's not really fair. I'm sure I'm going to win, But, okay, Charity and I will enter. And I was pretty confident. And you know what I came with? I brought a secret weapon. Instead of bringing a paddle, I brought a kayak paddle, so I had a paddle on both ends, so I could go like this. And I got there, and I heard people whispering, is that legal? Are you allowed to do that? I heard them say that. And so we were ready to go. I said, okay, Charity. And I thought, it doesn't matter what she does that much. She's kind of light, doesn't have much weight to it. I'll just, put this thing in the water, get going, and nobody's going to stop us. and we were rowing into the wind. Not only were we going into the wind, the tide was going out, and the water was pushing us backwards. So if you were not rowing, you were going backwards for sure. So we start off the race, and boy, everybody starts off going first there, and canoes are bashing up against our canoes, and we're just rowing. I'm giving all I got here, and we kind of pull out ahead. And these two guys, look like college guys, they take off, and they're just like, and you could hear them chanting like, okay, stroke, 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 stroke. And these two guys, it was just two people to a canoe, and they started pulling out ahead a little bit. Well, they came to this island, and they went left of the island. It was a dead end. And so we kept on going. But, I didn't know. I'd never gone this way before. And I thought, man, we were kind of close to everybody. But these guys ended up pulling back out, and they got back onto the right path. But boats kept starting to pass by. And I felt this sensation in my arms, this burning sensation. My arms are starting to hurt. And we ran aground once. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is no fun. And all of a sudden I looked. We were in last place. And we came in 30 minutes after everybody else. All right, and so it was hard. It was like, man, I should have practiced. I should have practiced because we came in. I thought I was going to come in first. We did finish though. I didn't quit. So here I think to myself, can you imagine what the disciples were thinking or saying? It's late at night. They're going against the wind, and they're having to row. If they stop, they're going to be pushed backwards. They can't stop. All right, so they're going along. You know what? I know what we'd be saying if you and I were in the boat. If we were all in the boat and we were rowing, and it's in the fourth watch of the night, let me tell you some of the things I think we'd be saying. All right? What do you think you'd be saying? I think I'd hear one person say, I told Jesus we shouldn't leave tonight. We should have left in the morning when the wind died down. I wish he'd listen to me sometimes. Yeah, there'd be somebody saying that. Probably hear somebody say, hey, let's go back and try again in the morning once we've had a good night's sleep. Jesus can't expect us to do this all night. I could imagine one other person saying, why did we have to leave tonight? I need to get my sleep or I'm grouchy. Says Jesus, no, I need my sleep. This is one I'd probably be saying, I quit. I know I'm rowing harder than he is. We'd say, we'd find somebody else to say, well, you're not working as hard as I quit. Who knows? There's all kinds of things when those difficulties arise, when the pressure comes, that things start coming out that you wish you could take back, that you wish you hadn't said. Now, it doesn't say the disciples said any of those things, but if we were there, what would you be saying? All night long rowing, tired, muscles hurting, and you're only halfway there? Then Jesus showed up. He came walking on the water. In the other gospel accounts, it talks about Peter saying, Lord, if that's you, bid me to come to you on the water. And Peter got to take a few steps on the water. Peter got to take a few steps on the water. And then in verse 52, everyone look at verse 52. Why did they go? Why did Jesus constrain them to go into a boat into head-on wind in the middle of the night? It says, for they considered not the miracle of the loaves, for their heart was hardened. Their heart was hardened. Could you tell that their heart was hardened from the outside? Can you tell? Sometimes you could tell somebody if their speech gets to be real curt or prideful. You could tell somebody's got a hard heart. But their heart was hardened. They had not considered the loaves. Jesus, what was the route that Jesus took to get across that sea? He walked on it. Didn't he walk on it because he was God?